Okay, welcome back. How to respond politely to interruption. Interruption has been done. You've been interrupted. Are you going to say, hey you can't interrupt me like that? So how do you go about it? You've been interrupted, yes. But how do you respond to the interruption and still sustain the conversation? You sustain the conversation, you've been interrupted, but you sustain the conversation. So how to return to your original topic? You say, as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, please say like that, or you may say something like, getting back to what I was saying, I know people who say, before I was rudely interrupted, but here you say, where was I? So you say this if you need some help remembering what you were saying. Because you were interrupted, you were removed completely from your original thought. So you don't even know where you are. Or if you want to know whether your audience knows where you are, you know where you are yourself, but you want to know if your audience knows where you are. You say, where was I? Where were we? Continuing where I left off, or as I was explaining, or as I was saying, that is how to return to your original topic. In fact, you need to understand that these points are well documented. That is why I'm giving them to you, so that you go back and put them in your exercise books. Here also are useful expressions to put interruptions on hold. Somebody wants to interrupt, but you want to stop them from interrupting. In fact, you want to put not your discussion on hold, but their interruption is what you want to put on hold. You tell them, let us come back to that. Let us come back to that. Or you say, I want to hear more about that afterwards. So that it does not interfere with your line of thought or what you are doing right now. You say, I want to hear more about that afterwards. Or you say, I'm curious about your experience. Let us return to that in a minute. That is still polite. I'm curious, you own it. I'm curious about your experience. Let us return to that in a minute. Or you say, I want to hear more about that afterwards. So afterwards is the key word. Do you know, even from the beginning of that sentence, it is to show that you have owned it. You are not being rude. That's not all. I don't want to forget to talk about that. Let me just finish what I was saying, and then probably we'll come back to that. I don't want to forget to talk about that. We are definitely going to talk about that next. That's like an assurance. Or you can tell them, sure thing, I want to talk about that too. Sure thing, I want to talk about that too. Or you say something like, I want to hear more, but before I lose my train of thought, I want to hear more, but before I lose my train of thought. Thank you for listening, and I'm pleased to have to take you through this interruption. Next time probably we may look at situations where you need to interrupt. Until that time, good day.